It's Wednesday, my dudes, and get ready to go ape as we welcome Spero Toys to the show. We'll take a walk on the wild side as we discuss their new Kickstarters for annual Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. It's really hard to get seeing this thing and get things done, but go bananas! Bring that crackhead energy, and Machu, cue the intro! Woo-hoo!
Was not expecting that.
Yeah, you never are. You never are.
I was about to take a sip out of my drink, and that would have been all over the place.
I got to be honest with you. The day that you start expecting me to show up in a monkey mask to do an intro is the day I've run out of ideas. So,
well, I know you have one, and I should have known better. So
you should have known just through the intro we wrote before. Anyway, it is Wednesday, my dudes, and welcome to episode 67 of Between Two Sentinels. Josh Brown says I only saw the intro. We'll go back and watch it again. Tonight should be a lot of fun. We're gonna go ape, as they say.
You already pulled double duty.
Oh my god! And
earlier.
I am exhausted from getting my ass kicked, but then winning the Wednesday Night War. So congratulations to you and to me on being the tag team champions of the Wednesday night show. I guess next we have to fight Yoko and Ernie.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ponchisi for making that happen. And
that was awesome. That was really cool. And really congratulations to Kevin for winning the Royal Rumble. And a happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday.
Happy 40th birthday. Enjoy your birthday. And you're headed to Canada to for the big bash, for the big Toying Around Con. What is it called?
Yes, the Toying Around Con, which is happening on April 7th, this Sunday, brought to you by eCollectibles.
Collectibles?
Yeah, so 796 is also flying out there. So we're also doing the enabler stream.
Oh, that's right.
I believe Ryan Ting is supposed to be coming too.
Oh,
so that should be fun.
That should be awesome. You should I won't spoil anything for those who haven't seen X-Men 97 yet, but based on the conversation we had last night and the episode today, you really should talk to Ryan about us doing a release for the special Sentinels pack that needs to come out very, very soon.
Yeah, that should be done, right?
Yeah, it should really be done. Might be one of my favorite episodes of X-Men 97 as of yet. So, but yeah. Again, I won't say much more. But how you doing, man? How are you? How was your week?
Good. As per usual, I'm not packed yet.
Yeah.
Doing laundry still.
What time's your flight?
Noon.
Oh, plenty of time.
I'll be spending more time at the airport than I am in the air.
What is it? Because, an hour and 45 flight?
Yeah, it's something like that. But international, you got to go there early.
Yeah. No. You got your passport? That's the biggest thing. Everything else you can buy. All right. Well, I'll be hosting the show tonight. Scrambles for his passport. Let's check in with the chat and see who's here. High School Creations checking in with the first. And he got there early too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Steve Barrow saying, and I walk 500 miles and I walk 500 more. Da, da, da. You're supposed to do the other da-da-das. Anyway, that was pretty good, Steve. Josh Brown saying, can't get enough of these Spero streams. No sleep till Mamba. Yeah, Mamba looks pretty awesome there. Dom checking in with the hello there. Ray Paz saying, here for the Funky Monkeys. Boy, did you get more than you bargained for. Let me tell you that, because you wrote that at 7:57. I bet you had no idea. Toy Rensu hitting us with the...
Sup, Knights?
Come on, pay attention, Matt. We got a stream today.
Sorry.
Fan again, collectibles. We're stealing the old dots from the Hush Migos. Taking that from Spero. Okay, I got it. Toy Rensu, Doc Brown? It's your kids, Marty. Hopefully the crackhead type.
Oh my god. How does that stick?
I don't know. That stuck. Ahoy, ahoy.
Yeah.
Who knows? Let's see. Good stream tonight. Spero here. Emily from Joe Team on TPC later. That is true. The Toy Daddies and the Toy Pick community top 10 will have Emily from the Joe or the Morphin team, or is she both?
Joe, Morphin. What else? Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I believe
Ghostbusters had some good releases
she's on a lot.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's killing it. Brownie Jacob BG says hello. I don't know why I said it like that, but sure. Jason saying y'all ready? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm ready. Matt Logic hitting us. I don't even know what that is, but
I don't know
we'll go
what
with
that
it.
is.
Yeah. Who else we got? Loco Lou saying what's popping, people. We have Man Beast Boy checking in saying we back. We never left. We just basically sat here from last night. Toy Box of Doom saying, hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Collecting Brothers. Hello, everyone. Like Rape has here for the monkeys. I guess there's a hey with the monkeys. Red Exo Mac 5. Hi, everyone. We got a lot of new names in the chat tonight. This is awesome. This is great. Welcome, everybody. Oh, and Cal the Collector saying, J-Shot Macho, how y'all doing? What's up, B2S chat? And yes, welcome. Welcome, and thank you for being here, chat. We our favorite part is always interacting with you guys, and that's how we get these crazy things like Crackhand Energy and Ahoy Ahoy and crazy muckiness going on. So Endless Fables is here as well. What's going on? So please, if you got a question for the team tonight, be sure to put it in the chat. And don't forget, you have those super hats. Never expected, but always appreciated if you want to make sure that we see your question. So be sure to put that in there as well. Yeah. What else? We talked about our tag team match. We talked about toying around. What else you got?
I mean, Haulathon's happening, but
Haulathon is happening. You got some new stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that with our guests too. I'm
okay.
sure some of them collect.
Toy Mayor is here saying, "What up, fellas?" Okay, so we got our first question, Steve. But let's get our guests in here then before we start asking questions. So we've got Jason from Spero, and I hope I'm saying that right now at this point, Spero, and we've also got BrickSomething hanging out with us tonight. Spero like hero. I love that. That's a good way to say that. If only you had said that before I did the intro.
There you go.
Anyway,
the intro was amazing.
Agreed.
Like it was awesome, and then like the little great touch at the end was like you pulling like the monkey hairs out of your mouth after you took the mask off.
I mean, it's a real show. It's a real show, and it's all happening live, and that's part of it. So those hairs taste terrible, by the way.
That was amazing.
I hope these in his head he was like, God, I hope these are monkey hairs.
If you're a Curb Your Enthusiasm fan in one of the early seasons, you'll understand that reference. If you're not, go look it up. Anyway, looks like we got Adam here as well. So why don't we just bring in everybody?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
All right.
How we doing?
So this is great. This is awesome. We got a lot of people going on here. And Adam and Jason, I know that you guys are fully into you are Spero Toys, and I think Brick, you're just like, you're the mouthpiece at this point. What are we doing? So I was waiting for you to take a sip. I was like, yes, let's get it.
I've been trying so hard, man. I came close to doing that when you did your intro.
Who's been assimilated?
I've been assimilated. Yeah, I guess so. Resistance is futile.
Simeon-lated?
What's up, Brian George?
Yeah.
What's awesome is that all of us like bring something very different to the table in terms of like what we're good at, and sort of so it actually works really, really well. So
all right, well, Adam, let's start there. Like, what's who brings what to the table, and how do you guys click?
Who wants to take that one?
Well, let's start with the mad scientist.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the best way to sort of describe it.
So I'm the art director. I came up with Animal Wars of the Kingdom in 2011, and started off doing the comic book, and then segued into the action figures. My role now is, like I said, an art director. So a lot of times, I work with our 2D artist, Utoma, who's fantastic on doing the character designs. And then we'll translate that over to our 3D artists, which are all amazing. It's Arlen, Carter, Dan. And then we have junior sculptors as well, who will like kind of pick up odds and ends. So we'll kind of go over everything, and I'll go over everything, make sure all the sculpts and everything are, dialed in. But I mean, to be honest, they usually knock it out of the park first round. A lot of it's like just kind of like going over, it's almost kind of like proofreading your friend's English paper. And then I do the paint masters, and I also write the comic book, which we've got our first issue in stores last month, March 6th. And from what I understand, it's currently sold out. So it's looking like the comics it's been well received, and we're looking forward to getting issue 2 in everyone's hands. And of course, we're doing this awesome Kickstarter to introduce 4 brand new bucks.
At least 4.
At least 4. Yeah, that's the ground game. Ground floor, I should say.
Well, that's awesome. And Jason, I know that you had mentioned earlier that you were having some router issues, so we will cover for you if you want to go and restart. Don't fret. We'll let you back in. We'll let you back in.
If I'm starting to lag, let me know if I'm getting really laggy, and I'll restart the router.
No worries. You're okay for now, but as Machu knows, you might be dangling on the old potato. So Adam, how do you and yeah, Machu, thank you for pulling this up. So we'll talk maybe more a little specifically about the toys and stuff, but Jason, it's great to hear. I mean, this is something you're working on since 2011. I mean, that's got to be, this is it's odd to hear 2011. You think, oh, that's not that long. It's only like 3 or 4 years, and you realize, no,
right.
It's 13 years later.
It's wild, right?
Yeah. So it's pretty impressive, and it's got to be wild to see something like this come true.
It's
and
very surreal.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I really can't. I don't think the only thing I've been working on for 10 years is, my daughter. So I can't imagine sticking to one project for that long. And I'm sure I screwed her up already. So it's fine. That's why I got the boy. He's 5. So,
Reset.
Adam, reset. Yeah. Try again. I keep saying, we got to give them trauma. It makes them interesting. So Adam, how do you fit into the whole world here?
So I fit in terms of doing a lot of the sort of back end stuff, customer service, emails, and helping with some of the logistics and mapping out, website stuff and Kickstarter stuff, and the really boring stuff typically is like my expertise. That's that's the stuff that nobody else wants to do. The stuff that's like the mundane kind of. It's important, but it's
extremely important. He's underplaying his role. It's he says it's boring, but it's absolutely vital.
So yeah, I do the boring stuff so that Jason can do the fun stuff.
Yeah, and definitely don't underplay your role, man. Like without you, this stuff doesn't get made, right? Like we don't have the Kickstarter, you don't have the website and things like that, and it's just Jason sitting around playing with his monkeys, and it's it gets a little weird. So
hairs out of his mouth,
pulling hairs out of his mouth, just like that. So and Brick, man, like you have been a constant supporter since day one. First off, I want to say thank you for all your support of the show, and seeing your name in the chat always makes us happy. And I think I've sent you 1 or 2 contest
man, I got my pins,
a couple of rigaways that we gave you, so it's awesome to have you on this side with us. But I mean, when Machi was like, hey, we're gonna have the Spero guys and Brick, I was like, cool, how does that work?
So I still haven't figured it out. Like, what am I doing here? You gave me a link, so I jumped on. No,
that's what I do every week. What am I doing here?
No, so Adam's totally underselling his role. So here's the deal, right? A couple years ago, there's this thing that everybody's starting to hear about, this Kickstarter, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Like prior to that, there was an existing comic book line and another toy line, right? The smaller sort of like 4-inch line. So that was a thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, that Spero Toys, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, they're doing, these bigger figures, 6-inch plus. And it was on a couple of sites. And I'm like, oh man, what's this about? And I start to do the search on YouTube because that's what I do. And I'm like, man, there's not a whole lot. Like, people should be talking about this. I love this thing. I want to find it. And so I was like, well, I guess then like I'll just start making videos on my channel about it. And then that's how Adam and I found out. He's like, "Hey, you made I made a video too." And like literally it felt like it was just like, it's just I guess it's just you and me, Adam. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, I think when Brick and I met, probably if you searched Animal Warriors of the Kingdom on YouTube, there was probably 2 videos. One was mine and one was Brick's.
So we're like, dude, okay, what's going on? This thing is amazing. We're going on, occasionally images will drop of like concept art and it's kind of all over there. How do we like collect it all and let people know? And so the other thing is that you've got that up there right now. Jason's saying that the comic book hit March 6th, the same day as this Kickstarter. But actually, the comic book's been released self-published and available directly through Spero for a while now. And so that was the other thing. Yeah, that was the other thing. Me and Adam were like, dude, did you read this comic book? Did you check this out? And then at a certain point, we're just like, hey, let's create a series. So he and I started doing this show called AWOK Talk, and then we'll do like the live component called Monkey Business on his channel. And all of it was purely out of nerdy fandom. We love this thing. We're like, why aren't more people talking about this? What can we do? Fast forward to the new Kickstarter. Adam's like helping out with the logistics, as you've seen, and he helped get those figures into everybody's hands the first time, or wave 1 and wave 2 from that first Kickstarter. Real quick, like, I don't know if people realize this, but you were showing all the figures. Nobody has had Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figures in their hands up until 2023, even though he said
February 2023.
Yeah, and these comic books have been around, but that's the thing. It's a really new, young brand. And then all of a sudden here they come with like Kickstarter number 2, and people are like, wait, what's going on? I thought they already did this. And so it just seemed to me, as a fan of this, and I do have a bit of a graphic design marketing background from a whole other life ago. I was like, man, can we put this stuff together? Hence, like tonight, and like, I don't know if folks have noticed, and people commented in the chat already, like for the last 2 weeks, we've been doing this whole Gather the Tribe sort of like press tour, if you will, on all the toy collector YouTube stuff and podcasts. And that was sort of my thinking, right? It's like, hey, Jason, are you doing this? Like, no, but that would be great. Cool. Like, here, let me reach out to some people, set up a schedule. Let's create a whole thing. Because I think, as Jason's been saying the last couple of streams, like part of this right now, as far as the life of this line goes, is like helping people even be aware that it exists. Like, I know some people are aware, but like maybe not enough, right? And so whether or not people like hear about the Kickstarter and want to actually back in, sorry, I already went to Epic All In. Started backing it.
That's where you should start anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
a
much
whole
different
other
Start all in.
But at the end of the day, it's like, we want people to know, dope new toy line backed by awesome stories in these comic books that are now, as of March 6th, carried by Diamond and in stores. That's the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I come in, and then helping with the Kickstarter, just things like, again, the old background of like, hey, maybe we should be communicating what's been unlocked, what's going to be unlocked, and maybe put it in a place that's a little bit more accessible, and like things like information on each of the figures that say like, this is a standard figure versus a deluxe figure. So when you're trying to add up your Epic all-ins, I'm going to put that out there again and try and figure out what that value is. Or, a lot of folks are like, wait, I heard you say that it comes with this accessory, but it's not mentioned. I heard you say this about, sorry, Adam, am I doing that right?
The
ears. But like, it doesn't say that anywhere. It's like trying to help organize that. So in some ways it's fun. In some ways it's also
organization is not my strong suit.
That was awesome, Brick. Hey, dude, you just
Adam, Brick, and Derek know that I kind of live in my own little world, my own little headspace. So there's a lot of times, I'll forget that I don't specifically mention something out loud, or write it in a text. And so Brick's been able to like really organize and get everything to where it's, we're sure that all this information is being conveyed. It's a lot of information in the Kickstarter, just kind of scrolling through everything. There's all these great images, and I think it's probably obvious that I'm particularly, a visual based thinker for the most part. So like, I'm assuming there's going to be like a lot of people who are like, oh, looking at these cool photos and, so Brick added all the information that's pretty vital that, it might be mentioned somewhere in text, but like now all of that stuff's reiterated in the images so that it's very hard to miss. And I think that really kind of helped along. It almost kind of like negated the need for the frequently asked questions section in the Kickstarter. It's like all the information's there. And now our job is basically, raising awareness about the brand. We all take for granted Ninja Turtles and Masters and, Thundercats and Nike and Coca-Cola, and all those brands have, had just decades and decades of brand awareness. So our job now is to let everyone know that the IP exists, and we know that the action figures are awesome and the comics great. And I'm obviously biased, but there's just so much cool stuff out there that we have to do our part and come on and say hi and thank everyone for bearing with us with my craziness and kooky personality. And I felt like I had something else to add, but my mind started wandering.
It's okay. It's okay. Let it walk, man. Let it walk. It's the best way to do it. And good use of the word kooky. I don't think that's been said here on the stream yet. So kudos to you.
Everyone's got the Addams Family theme song stuff.
That's it.
I do exactly. Yeah. Right when you said that, my brain went there.
So, look, I totally appreciate what you're saying, and just in terms of like you have to get the brand out there, and people like Nike and things like that of years of before people get the recognition.
Right.
But I will say this, man, like just judging from the chat and the people that we've talked to, people love this line, whether they love the story or the figures themselves or the characters. And the comments are going to be my favorite part tonight. It sounds like you guys went bananas for AWOK.
We did.
Rubber banana here. Endless Fable saying he loves the comic. Join the tribe.
Thanks,
is an
George.
kind of way. And man,
Brian.
this way you saying have a couple of these figures. If you're even halfway interested, you will not be disappointed. A lot of love and fun put into them. So again, the comic book is amazing, and it's been pretty cool. I think my first experience with you guys was seeing some of the figures from the Toy Daddies, right? Yeah, I think you had sent them.
Oh, cool.
Some prototypes, and they had taken some shots, and we had a big group chat going, and I remember them sharing them out, and they were stoked, right? Like they were stoked to be seeing that and stuff. I'm gonna, my mind's gonna wander a little bit too. It might be at some point Jason and I's minds might be walking together, and we might be sitting here like,
please do. I won't feel so bad.
Yeah, you won't feel so lonely. So forgive me if I jump all over the place, but like something like that, right? Brick, you had said that these figures weren't in people's hands until 2023. How important is it to get figures out to the community even before you start it, right? Like something, and people like the Toy Daddies who, and I'm not, if anything, they've got a bigger name than we do, but they're not like a Trevor or something like that, right? It's a smaller group that sometimes is more influential, right? Because it's like, someone like Trevor gets a figure, but he is so out, it's unattainable. But somebody like, Yimbo or Toy Father or No Chewing get it, and then you're like, oh man, like this is something I can attain. How important is that, either just for you guys or just for getting the name out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak. I think it's very important to do several avenues of outreach. We obviously love the big giant influencers, but we love the grassroots as well. And so we kind of want to do this type of scenario where we're getting, people interested in the brand and kind of building their own little mythos and communities around the ideas.
Sorry, I love the visual language that's developed the
right?
last couple of days has been fascinating.
Mamma mia, pizza pie. But yeah, no, I mean, we don't take anything for granted. One of the things we talk about like behind the scenes is checking ego. So like everyone, we all trust each other to kind of call everyone out if we're like, if something needs to be addressed or fixed or something. And I think we're all very open to constructive criticism and like, oh, hey, like, what do you think about this? And you're like, oh, that's a cool idea. Let's do that. So, just behind the scenes, we're all just trying to make the best product possible and, really brainstorm and figure out, how to reach our audience. We know they're out there, and we've been doing a bunch of conventions and stuff, and each one we noticed there's more and more interest. And I felt like we kind of like really hit our stride with Toylanta, where it was, it was one of those shows that like people were just kind of like clamoring around the booth. And it's one of those things that you're just like, oh, wow, this is catching on. This is cool. So I feel like we're like finally kind of like really gaining the attention of the toy collecting community and hopefully the comic reading community as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, something, Adam?
Yeah.
No, I was gonna add that like we the first round of stuff that went to channels that everybody's familiar with, and we sent out a whole bunch to channels that we were familiar with, and we're just kind of continuing that momentum. Like, if you've got a channel and you haven't gotten a figure from us, it may be coming soon. Like we're gonna kind of continue to get more people involved, because just like you said, like there's sort of a grassroots aspect to a lot of these smaller channels where maybe you don't have 30,000 subscribers, but the 100 subscribers that you do have are all going to listen to what you have to say, right? So 30,000 subscribers is great, but that's impossible to hit these days if you're a newer channel. But how many people are going to buy as a result of that channel having it versus the channel that only has 100 subs? It might be the same for all we know. We don't know, right? And so it's sort of one of those things where we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to kind of have their own opinion about these. And we send them to people and say, let everybody know what your opinion is, because we're pretty confident that once people get these in hand, they're absolutely going to love them. And I don't think there's been anybody that's gotten them and been disappointed in any way, despite the fact that we're hyping them as much as we are. Like, it's kind of one of those things where they're like, all right, I'll try one. At shows, it's really funny because if people come on like a Friday preview night or Saturday morning, I'm like, okay, take this back to your room or to your car, open it, and we'll see you in a couple hours and we'll get you the rest of the figures. Like, and it's almost,
oh my God,
without
that's so
fail,
fun.
people come back for more stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have 30,000 subscribers,
like
but I was just going to say we don't have 30,000 subscribers.
Go ahead.
Jason's delayed the best.
It's your turn. I'll be quiet.
I was just going to say, I don't know. We don't have 30,000 subscribers, but we did win the Wednesday night championship tag team battle. So just saying, Machu, check the ring camera. Maybe you did get a package today.
Maybe I did.
Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
I think it was Adam that coined the term hand candy, and I feel like that really accurately describes the figures. It's one thing to see cool photos online, but when people see them at their booth, they're like, "Oh, I get this." And like, we've got figures open, so they're like, we're playing and kind of posing with them, and they're almost like our little Rubik's cube or like a little fidget cube where like while we're talking, we're playing with the figures and showing all these great poses. Look what Brick's doing with it. And I'll be the first to say, like, I don't typically like pose figures very dynamically. Like, this is like how I pose figures. They're just like, but you could just pick the figure up and they're just so easy to pose that you can't help but make a cool pose with them. So whenever people see them in person, they're like, oh, I get this. I've been interested, or I might've seen it. I'm going to go ahead and take the plunge now. And like Adam was saying, it's such a fun experience and compliment when people sample one on the preview day and then they keep coming back and buying more and more. And we're like, you could just get them all at once and not have to like, get them all now. And then you don't have to pay shipping later when you get home.
Right.
We had a bunch of people at Toylanta that were like, they bought one and they're like, okay, I budgeted for like these 3 specific things. And depending on what I find and how much they are, I'm going to come back and spend the rest of my money here. It just, I just have to get, I just have to go through and do my due diligence to get this, vintage figure or whatever. And so, yeah, we were like the last booth still open at the end of Sunday at Toylanta because there was still people trying to buy stuff, which is, it was a lot of fun. And it's a compliment, right? Because people are kind of like every last dollar they wanted to sort of squeeze out. And they're like, okay, do I have enough for, a weapons pack or a headset or something like that? So it was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I love these things, and clearly like they're super fun. Like, I know Machu's like really great at posing. Like, And you have a couple of these?
I have Blight, so I was
Okay.
gonna get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember when the toy daddies were always like they were really pushing this line towards
were.
us, and like this is around the same time that it was Wall XD, so I had made the challenge if they could enable me on buying one, that I would send them a wall. Luckily, I believe it was Adam who actually enabled me on buying one. It was Allegiance Con, right?
I was gonna say Allegiance
Yeah,
Con,
yeah.
You guys had a big table at Legion's Con, which was
Yeah.
great. And just jumping back real quick to talk about the quality of the figures. I mean, like as soon as you said the quality of the figures, people jumped all over it, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Red XO Mac 5. The quality of these figures are amazing. I let my toddler play with them
Yeah.
all the time and never have to worry about them. That is a true testament. These are easily the best quality figures I've held in my hands. Awesome materials and great joint integrity. And these are things that matter, right? Like joint integrity, talking about being able to leave them with your, your toddler. Have you sent any figures to the main cast of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes or the interviewers of the cast, the upcoming movie this May? Could be a good crossover. Not a terrible idea. Brick, get on that. I'm sure you can track somebody.
You know what? We know people that know people. I think we could probably actually make that happen. Believe it or
I
not.
can barely figure out who actual voices are in that movie, so I don't even know. I have to do some research.
We could work on that. And Cal the Collector just giving you guys compliment on how great your teamwork is in achieving the goal. Also, looks like Disavowed Action Figures has showed up saying, what goes on all? I mean, everyone needs one of these figures in their hands. What kind of
It's
what
true.
else could you say? What else could you say?
Yeah.
So, and then you even mentioned this about buying head packs and accessory packs, and the armor kits and customization options are also top notch. So it's not just these amazing, sculpts and posability, but like the extras that you guys are offering as well make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what really excites me. So you already hit on the sculpts and the deco. I love the eyes on this thing. I don't know if you can see them, but it's just like these things are great. In addition, you've got all the like armors packs and the head packs. And so that signaled to me like, man, what's this guy Jason doing? Like he's already kind of thinking about collectors, because that's how I operate. I'm like, yeah, I want to take weapons from this and armor from this.
Yeah.
I remember in the earliest days, he was taking Masterverse figures and like throwing this armor on there, or taking, some Marvel Legends and like kind of just showing you what you can do to help you like wrap your head around like, what could I do with this new line that like, what do I know about Animal Warriors? Oh, wait, I can make them work with my other brand that I love, and I really appreciated that piece of it. And then just the fact that like we did get heads packs from that first Kickstarter, and the basic bucks, basically the
Primal Ancients,
and like all of that was just super cool. So on the one hand, like it's a brand new line, a brand new IP that you kind of have to like teach people about and help them understand the background and the characters. On the other hand, there's this real universal thing of like, hey, cool weapons packs for your other figures, check. And just the animal piece too. I think that's the other thing. Like inevitably at some point on every stream we do, you'll get people being like, are you going to make this? Are you going to make this? Because we all like, there's this universal thing about like animals that I think this thing hits on.
It's like dinosaurs,
Yeah.
I blame Disney for the sort of everyone loves animals in like human form, like
Looney Tunes,
yeah. There was so much of that when we were kids, and now it's sort of like we're adults, and now we want them to fight with guns and swords and stuff.
Richard Scary and the whole all of that stuff. But the other thing is just in terms of one thing I was just gonna say, without like right now you're looking at heads packs. That's just this wave. Mm-hmm. And then this sort of first set of figures, when we get to the Kickstarter, that's the thing that blows me away. Cause it's like, you already mentioned, we're doing 4 new bucks. And it's like, no, we're not. Like, I think we're at 7 now, like, and all sorts of, so to me, that's like amazing that Spero and Jason are looking to do so much so quickly, that it helps me as someone who's like, I really like really cool toys. Hey, you're giving me all sorts of variety. I already kind of know what's up with these figures. Now you're giving me more. So I don't know, some good stuff in Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, if you haven't heard.
Yeah. And again,
Yeah.
just the compliments that keep coming in from you guys, just like, AWOK figures by far my favorite pocket fig, something else to consider, right? As
Oh,
you're
cool.
walking
Thanks.
around
Mate. That's
and
awesome.
doing stuff like that. Steve commenting about how you guys had the last table open. You got to keep the monkey business open late. Paint apps here, the eyes are amazing. The paint apps and color schemes are great. Give us all the anthropomorphic animals.
We're trying.
And then
They're
Man
coming.
Beast Boy might be my favorite comment of the night. Toddler stress test, second only to the doggy chew toy.
Right. I don't know if it can survive a dog. They are they're safety tested for 4 and up. So
and
yeah.
Ray Paz, man, like, I don't know, you guys must be really good at writing checks to the group, to the chat here, because I've never had any misgivings about any of my future purchases since the first purchase, which is pretty awesome. And I gotta just we gotta say a huge thank you to Brownie Jacob BG for the $5 super hat, saying, just backed, just curious, would you guys ever do gimmicks like color changing for someone like Gresh? Interesting. And Gresh obviously is the chameleon that's in the new Kickstarter wave here. So yeah, let's talk about that. Would you guys do? I mean, everyone loves a good color change. I'm gonna move myself here to the bottom. This way I can get covered by the chat here.
So what I'll say is what I'll say is that there was some questions while we were doing a second Kickstarter, and I think seeing the scope of what we're doing answers that question. We've already produced, we've already done a third, and now we're in the middle of production for the fourth wave, using existing bucks, and there's new secondary parts added, but this is so much bigger in scope as far as like what we're like, going for, that it necessitated, obviously the funds, but the brand awareness, the numbers. We need to figure out which characters and which molds are the most popular, so that we can kind of give the factory a little bit of like a lead time, and we're going to obviously pad out the figures where we're going to do, like, we need this many for Kickstarter customers, and then we also do extra for additional customers that get stuff once it's in stock. But that aside, the main goal of the Kickstarter was to produce all these different body types so that we can do those fun extra little gimmick things that you mentioned. So I'm not confirming or denying, but the possibility is there now that we're like 224% over our goal. So it's obvious that this is popular and that people are interested in it. And I think we've hit our stride, and it's only going to get more popular from here on out. So, all I can say is stay tuned. We'll continue to do these kind of podcasts and be a lot more present online now that we've proven ourselves with the wave 1 and 2 and 3. We'll be a lot more present online to kind of give little sneak peeks and tidbits of what we're working on in the future.
I will say this: a non-confirmation is just as good as a confirmation. So stay tuned for color changing.
Can I offer, just on that note, like there is something that was exclusive to this Kickstarter a little further down, and that actually, like, there's precedent for exploring these sorts of, I don't know if you'd call them gimmicks or like cool toy things, but there is a fully transparent figure in here based on a wave 1 character, and that's the main character, Pale. There's a sort of event exclusive, there he is, Force Ghost Pale, if you will.
Spectral
Pale.
If I remember from watching some of the other shows that you guys have done, he's exclusive only to this Kickstarter, unless you get extras left over from the makings, correct?
Yeah, so he the Kickstarter exclusive thing is great, but there is minimum order quantities. So if we had done that, we could have done that and then just melted, the remaining ones unsold back down to plastic, but that didn't make sense. So we changed.
That would be a great stream, by the way. Watch us.
Yeah. We called Funko and asked them what the best way to do that was, but they didn't get back to us.
And Peter got angry at the idea. So,
but so I stole something from SH Figure Arts, where they call their exclusive stuff event exclusive. So that doesn't limit it to anywhere, but it does mean that it won't be available sort of at wide retail. So that's effectively the same as this. So this will be available for anybody that backs the Kickstarter at any reward tier. You can add this guy on. Alternatively, we will probably do the same thing that we do with this guy for conventions and things like that, where we'll have kind of like 5 per day, like a limited number for that kind of thing. And then, you know, if we do giveaways or if we do contests or what have you, he may pop up, but it'll be a harder to get figure. It won't be impossible. We certainly don't want to make anything that makes people angry with us. So, you know, you always get those random things where like something's timed and like people can't get on and get it, and like it's a one and done or whatever. We do definitely want to make these available. And we're pretty soft. So like if people reach out and they're like, "Hey, I really need this. Like, how do I?" We'll work with them and figure out, okay, what's the event that's closest to you? Do you have any friends?
Right,
if not, we'll help you make some friends who can maybe pick it up for you. But it's,
we
we do a lot of conventions. I'm in the middle of nowhere, Canada, and I've still been able to get the convention exclusives. So if I can do it, you can all do it.
You heard it here first.
Being
AWOK
nice.
will help you find friends.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll help you find friends.
Join the tribe and make some friends. That's where you're going with that. So,
man, it seems so like ridiculous to say that, but like honestly, you know, toys should be fun, and it should be like, it should be something that allows you to make friends, not enemies. But for some reason, there does seem to be a portion of the community that just wants to like hate each other. That's not what we're about. Online. So that's like, it's just online. In person, everybody's friendly, happy. But
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, we're obviously on the same page with that, but I feel like our main mission is to help people after they've had a hard day's work to kind of come home and relax and kind of forget about the day's troubles, even if it's for just 15 minutes a day. That I consider that our mission is accomplished, you know. But we want to build that cool community. You know, Mythic Legions really always kind of comes to mind because they've got such a great community. And I find that they're very like accepting of other toy titles. Like they're very happy. Like the community is very happy to like work in other franchises and stuff. So we want to do something similar than that. And, you know, I mean, I was an only child, so I always kind of grew up mixing and matching all of my different figures. It was like G.I. Joe and Star Wars, or, you know, He-Man and Thundercats and Ninja Turtles and whatever else, Battle Trolls or whatever. So, you know, the toys are really intended to, you know, exist on their own, or you can mix and match them. I know I love to do it. I mean, I've got them mixed and matched with all my other figures right now at home.
So I do want to get to this question from Steve, and I want to make sure that we do spend some time on the old Kickstarter here. Hi, I'm still here. What is the starting amount for the Kickstarter? And to gauge increases, I'm assuming it just means to kind of just gauge interest here. So, I mean, Steve, feel free to correct me, jump in there. But let's start at the base. What do people need to just get in here and get, you know, their first tier?
Actually, I'm kind of a little unclear, Steve. If you can clarify, are you asking like what was the original goal or something? Are you just sort of saying like what do you need to back to get in?
Let's start with what do we need to back to get in, and also he does want to know what level unlocks friends. He'd like that. So
yeah, so you get the epic all in, and you instantly make friends. Instantly, if you buy 2 epic all ins,
you will.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yes.
We'll send you a friend request. Maybe not.
So again, if we're assuming that, like, what do you need to back? Like at this point, so this wasn't true in the beginning, but after I think a couple of days, you could essentially just back one figure, single figures.
One figure.
So at this point, you can just go and actually, technically, you can make a pledge without a reward for $1, and you know we'll be friendlier.
Add on.
Be friendly.
But then you can buy you can totally buy single figures if that was part of the question. Like, you can buy a single figure, but then there are other options in there to maybe buy all the reptiles, or buy all the brawler book, or even go crazy and get like 10 of a figure. Or, as you've probably heard us say, epic all in, epic all in. There's the all in that gets you everything that was originally offered, and then there's the epic all in that gets you everything that was originally offered and anything else that got unlocked along the way. Where if you're keeping track and you do the math, yes, it sounds crazy. It's a $650 pledge for an epic all in. But if you add up everything else that's now you're seeing here as unlocked or unlocks at, you figure if we get to that point, there's a lot of money that you're going to be sort of saving by doing that. Right now it's listed as, I think, $650, but potentially a $991 retail value. But if you do the math, it's kind of adding up to be more than.
Yeah, I did the math initially, and I was wrong. I actually calculated wrong. It's like it's over 1,000 if we unlock everything.
Don't tell Jason. He doesn't understand that part. That's fine.
Apparently, I don't understand math either. But
I don't know money.
So we got a couple of super chats here, and I do want to recognize D Blake, who again I actually didn't want to call out. He was one of the original guys who hawked you guys well, and we did find out from him. Talking about all kinds.
He made
of
us an awesome sign. It's on display on our on all of our convention tables. We have it on the figures kind of hanging out on them.
Nice. And D Blake says, love the Spero gang and all the new Kickstarter waves, working to scrape together funds to change my all in to the epic all in. Now I'm $10 short. We got you, D Blake. We'll send you the old $5 refund on it. So
there you go.
You'll be good. You'll be good. And then also a huge shout out and thank you to the Toy Amigos for inviting us on last night. But Toy Amigos say, great stream, guys. Any plans on making super muscular female figures down the road? Damn it, Cheney. Damn it. We had to bring that. Nobody else had mentioned that tonight. You had to bring that up. And then, of course, we got the muscle mommies for the win.
You moved.
I love my muscle mommies, but
why'd you move?
So let me answer this. Like, all kidding aside, I mean, I do love muscle mommies, but seriously,
I'm surprised Jason hasn't made them yet.
I know. The thing is the way we work is the characters are introduced in the comic book first. So you'll notice that anytime if you've just discovered the line, you'll notice that in wave 4 you've got 2 variants of 2 of the main characters. The reason is they're in the comic book, they're presented that way. So we're not going to be doing variants of main characters and just kind of random stuff without it being in the story. So to answer the question, essentially, if you've got like a main character or like someone that's a supporting cast character that's introduced in the comic book, that's a good indication that we're thinking about or working on doing a figure for it already. And we did have digital versions of the comic book, and we had some physical copies just for the Kickstarter. But now that they're going to be in comic shops, we highly recommend that people pick them up for the story. But secondarily, there's all kind of Easter eggs in there that are like just sneak peeks and clues of what figures we're working on or that we have on our radar. So, if it's in the comic book, chances are it's in development or at least on our radar for our wish list to create.
Okay, so they're one unaware and maybe letting you off a little easy, Jay Shot. Let's return to the scene of the crime for a second. So yesterday,
hold on.
Oh boy,
on Toy
I've already
Amigos.
pre-ordered.
So what this is about, FYI, everything Jason said is 100% accurate. But there was a reaction yesterday by Jay Shot to this character that I'll stand by you, Jay Shot. I think the poor man was he was misinterpreted, and I think there was the assumption that because he raised some questions about the lack of expressive faces and alternate heads for this figure, it quickly turned into the fact, or it got turned into the allegations that he doesn't like strong women. And I think there was a little like subtle accusations of misogyny and all this stuff. To be fair, when it came up in the chat, my instant response was, you do realize that there's women figures now in Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I hope that's, but
well,
Yeah, no, but for real, I just let me help out here. So
Yeah,
the
go for
issue
it.
that you took, let's be clear, let's clear the air. Was that this is the face that you get, and so it's a super smiley face, and that's kind of that's a problem. I
mean, that's
agree
what
with you. You were
She-Hulk's known
saying,
for.
but what he was saying is that, you know, in photography, if she's going to get down and like, you know, you want to see that angry face.
Yeah.
Segue. All these Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figures that are being offered come with an alternate
There you
head.
go.
Heyo.
This
There you go.
guy
Ew.
has
Well
done,
you
well
in
done.
mind, so
Well
that
done.
when these figures are going to fight, you might come with an extra face that looks like they're ready to fight. So just to throw that out there.
And I
Or
do
they'll
wanna
be
give-
extra friendly and cute looking.
Or-
Who
yeah.
knows? We'll see.
That too. That too.
I do want to give Steve credit. He said he can't wait for Jadu to go with his Blythe for a monkey style Bonnie and Clyde. I love that.
Yeah,
And yes, I you know what, Brick, I appreciate that. You know, I do not I am not against strong women. I in fact love them. I would make a joke about my search history, but I feel like that'll get worse. So D Blake saying what? Something Jason said was misinterpreted? That never happened.
not on the internet.
Not on the internet. Sir Dork checking in. What's up, Sir Dork? Steve saying, who doesn't like a little extra head? High school creation saying, yo, somebody say
Bing
AWOK.
bong ding.
And we got a big one here. Jason, with the monthly book being an ongoing, will there be reoccurring characters if there's new characters showing up in the monthly book? Would that slow down their toy?
Can
He
you
muted him.
repeat that?
You
I wasn't
muted, yeah.
sure. Yeah, I didn't say it one more time. I'm sorry.
With the monthly book being an ongoing, will there be reoccurring characters? If there's new characters showing up in the monthly book, would that slow down their toy?
No, not necessarily. Again, it kind of circles back to the point of the Kickstarter. You know, now that we have our catalog is, you know, quadrupling, so we want to set up the groundwork and the foundation so that whenever we introduce these new characters, we're like, oh, hey, by the way, we've already got the buck existing for it. We just have to add the secondaries and the armor, and we're good to go. So again, that's why this Kickstarter is so important, so that we can have access to all the great different body types that we need to represent the characters in the comics.
I love that. And I love again that like it's not just showing off a figure, right? You're creating a backstory and you've got a world and you're building off of that world.
Right.
The world building is so important. And then you mentioned earlier, right, with the Mythic Legions, that's something they do very well. And you guys are like, I feel like right there with them too in creating these characters. I haven't seen Boone. Boone looks pretty awesome. Boone might be my first one.
Yeah,
But
I really want to do a one shot of Boone and Grimes. You know, and while we're talking about indie toys, I'll say that, you know, Savage Crucible has a great graphic novel out. Action Force has a comic series out. So it's obviously very important for, you know, these indie IPs to really kind of have the backstory so that people know a little bit about each of these characters, and then not just a cool looking toy.
love that.
Can I just say on the comic real quick, like we've said
absolutely
this
not. We're moving on. No, I'm kidding.
Hey man, I had your back. I let people know that you're not a misogynist. So
that's right.
let me
That's
take
right.
my moment.
Rescinded.
No, I just want to say that you know, I grew up with Masters of the Universe, and I got this little comic book inside, and I love that. But those, if you read them, they're cool, they're fun, but clearly, like the stories are like really tiny, and they don't really kind of connect or go anywhere. I will just say that the comic book for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is a damn good story. Cool setting. Most people don't realize that like there's so much more going on with this world. Rather, like people assume it's sort of like this sword and sandals kind of thing. I was like, nah, look at dude right here with a metal arm and like a robot arm and pants or whatever. Like there's a whole lot, like there's a whole sci-fi plot going on. And so I just want to throw out there that the comic book, it's like a legit good story, great comic book, beautiful art by Utama. So, you know, I don't know. And I think what we also forget is that it actually kind of started as a comic, and then the
It
action
really did.
came later. So just want to push that. You should check it out. Check it out.
I appreciate that, and just want to give a special thank you again to Toy Amigos for jumping in here and thanking Cheney, thanking you, Brick, for giving off the explanation. I'm down for a brawler, mommy. NYC figure fanatic. I made a good
yes.
set.
There you go.
Greg, formerly Brute Scale, checking in saying, "Hey boys, I see you monkeying around. Brute, go back and check the beginning. You'll see more monkeys than you
Get
ever
the mask,
wished."
get the mask.
Maybe for the end. There was something here. Oh, and I do want to give a shout out. It looks like we got a bunch of the enablers are checking in. We've got High School Creations. We've got 796 Studios. Probably all making their way to Canada for the big bash. And boy, the chat is just exploding, and I can't say anything. I can't keep up with it all.
You forgot
but
how
I
to read,
did-
ladies and gentlemen.
I did. I forgot how to read. I was too engrossed in the muscle mommies. I do want to get to this comment because I think this will be a good way to enable and a good way to get you guys to sell more figures. Macho, you've been very quiet during the stream, so the real question is, when will you be making a stop motion based on the comic?
Ooh.
Oh man, no pressure, huh?
Oh, I guess I got to see the comic first. I got to get the comic first.
We can
And then get the
arrange
figures.
that.
Yeah.
Done.
There you go. There was an actual question here about whether or not you guys would be doing weapons packs for the brawler scale. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Yes.
Armor packs for brawler
Armor
packs.
packs. So we have to try to figure it out. It's always interesting. We get all these great questions during the Kickstarter and interviews, and sometimes we don't think about stuff. And so it's a cool idea. I love it. We just have to figure out a way to introduce it in a way that's compelling and that will make sense.
You have to keep in mind too that like the armor sets that have come out, which are that fit the pale buck. I mean, the pale buck is the same size, for the apes, for the cats. It'll be the same for the reptiles. So there's going to be a whole lot of figures that sort of fit that armor. So the sort of application, if you will, for those armor sets is much broader. The brawlers, we haven't done any figures yet. So, you could get a brawler armor set, but who would you put it on?
Right.
They all come armored. So I think really, once the inventory of brawler characters expands a little bit more, and there's a few more parts related to brawler sized armor, and then down the line, if there's sort of a primal ancient version of a brawler figure, like all those things have to kind of fall in line for it to really make sense economically.
That makes sense. And so what? Right. So again, I'm gonna play dumb guy here. Not unusual for me. What do you guys consider a brawler style figure? What is that like? What,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You're right there. So that buck right there, that sort of like big chested, barrel chested, that is the brawler buck. So earlier you were showing the website and you probably noticed that they were all pretty similar. They were essentially this or giant gorilla. Those are the two bucks that existed for the first year of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Earlier you saw the lizard, effectively a new buck called the lizard buck, I guess. Yeah.
Reptile.
And then reptile buck. Thank you. And then we've got these, the one you had right there. That's the brawler buck. So there's the reptile. We can just sort of scroll down again. Reptile, cool chameleon head / snake alt head. The chameleon, by the way, has articulated eyes again.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that for sure because that's a pretty awesome.
And
feature.
so
Macho,
when we say brawler, that's it right there. And like let's just keep going so we can make sure we at least take a look at the whole thing. So that's these guys, and then these are the weapon sets that are available for those guys. This was at one point an unlockable figure, and as you see there on day 14, and when we hit 160 unlock Grimes, there was an alt head. So if you keep going down, you'll see the alternate heads for all three of those. So when we hit 170 on day 17, all of those were unlocked. So now just coming with the figure, this is an example of what I was saying earlier for the She-Hulk figure, right? You're totally right, J-Shot. Why just give me the one face that's super smiley and or stoic? In here, you'll see that King Hannibal will come with that angry head. Kali Prime will come with that angry head. And then Grimes, he needs to chill with his cigar. So that's cool. That's all the brawler stuff. And as we keep going down,
The Brawler Buck will also be used for the Void, which is a figure that's available for
There's
pre-order
another one,
outside
another
of the
brawler.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Do you want me to go to
And
that?
Brutox
Avoid?
as well.
Yeah.
It's harder to tell because he's just an illustration.
That's right. That's probably something we should put. Here you go. Here's the women. And we know that J-Shot loves women and is supportive of strong female characters. So here you go.
Almost too much.
Almost too much. Yeah, I think that's what we should go with. Almost too much.
So this was effectively the
yeah.
third buck that we had going on in this thing, which is wild. Again, in a span of 2 years, you're potentially getting like, now what is that? Plus the 2, that'd be $5 in this line. We keep going. I think keep scrolling down. You'll see that there's the Jessa figure that was unlocked recently too. So more of the women. This is, again, for those keeping count, this is the third buck. We keep going, and there should be Boyds. Not the cool Wondershot bird. Oh, sorry, no, just kidding. The Speedster buck. So smaller than these guys. This is for your like smaller creatures like Kanji, who does have the articulated ears. There's also that Boone character that you were showing earlier as well. The pirate. And then a little bit further.
We do have 2 characters that have articulation on the head itself. Actually, it's 4 characters. All the reptiles have moving jaws. Gresh has the 360 eyes, and Kanji has the 360 ears.
Oh, okay.
And then this was just recently unlocked. That's a Horrid Assassin troop builder. Eventually, I think we're approaching unlocking the weapons that you see. I'm sorry, the alternate heads, I want to say.
Yeah. We're about 5,400 away from all the alternate heads for the Speedster bucks.
So let's go. Goal for the stream, 5,400.
That'd be great. That'd be great. We're not going to shut down until we hit that 5,400. Okay, I got kids asleep. So Chubsy Wubsy says,
we'll wait.
Hey guys, love
What's
you
up,
guys
Chubsy?
always across the board. Chubsy, huge. I mean, he's got your figures in there. I look at them every time I'm there.
Same.
And
we're gonna go visit the shop for Legions.
Nice.
We're gonna show up a couple of days early so that we can go check out this visit.
Nice. Let us know when you go. We might meet you there. So always.
Oh,
always
sweet. No, we will totally.
Yeah. No, dude.
Yeah,
like we're always
definitely.
down.
No
We're
joke.
always down. And then we got a couple of questions here. Did I hear Brawler Army Builder in the future from Jace?
I'll confirm that. Yeah, it's we want to have some sort of army builder for each body type, so you can bank on that. You can take it to the bank.
Take it to the bag. I love that. And then so would Thing, the Elephant, and Rhino be a tank? Is that considered a tank body?
I think we're landed on the heavy buck right now.
Got it.
So
Yeah,
here's the birds.
But all 3 of those are different bodies. So we're trying to come up with new ways to describe them that aren't just one figure specific. That's actually one of the harder things about this.
It really is, because in Mythic Legions you've got like Ogre Scale 1.0, 2.0, and it's kind of like whoa. So trying to figure out that naming convention for this line is fun. Like this is an easy one. It's the bird buck.
Bird buck.
So this was right here. When this Kickstarter started, that was the highest tier that was available, and it was just in shadows. Now 260, but as things got unlocked, Jason always sort of had like a bunch of other things ready to go based on the experience from Wave 1. And if you keep going down, we revealed new birds, different levels. Like just shout out to this guy who's the the bard.
I love this guy.
He's got his little lute there that splits in half and turns into a bow, which is kind of rad. Great colors on this guy too. All of the birds have wings too, so you don't see the wings.
We had fun
have those
discussing
attachments.
different ideas. Yeah,
for weapons.
Yeah, all the birds will have the
instruments.
wings. The little. Yeah,
I will say just in this Kickstarter and in the waves that you're releasing here, there does seem to be a little bit more of a like Dungeons and Dragons feel to them, whereas like the other ones felt a little bit more like like warrior style, right? Like you're saying, this is the bard character. This is,
Mhm.
this one comes across to me as a little bit of a mythic character, right? Like
Mhm.
it is kind of a cool, like, so it's continuing to build out that world, but not everything is the same, right? Not everybody's
Yeah.
got the chest piece across and they're angry and they're, like there's
That's right.
it looks like the Thief Guild type of thing that you've got going with some of the other figures. So it is pretty cool to see that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Is that a bone whip that she comes
Don't
with?
get Jason started on the bone
It
whip.
is. I
It's too
saw
late.
that. I like the bone whip.
I like it.
We need the bone whip. I gotta have that bone whip.
Keep going. We're looking for clips. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, there's got to be something here.
I
And
need
then
it.
here's that figure that he was saying. This is another of the sort of the brawler buck, same
Yeah.
as Hannibal, and so but this is Brutox. The what was he originally? You're calling him the Ox, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I kind of for me and Machu and some of the other peeps, I claimed it the Filipino Carabao, but
Oh yeah,
but,
I
you know,
yeah, I would totally. I put some different colors on there then.
It's fine
Yeah.
with me.
but anyway, that's what this guy is. And then of course, God, what are we? That's at 6, no, 4, 5, right? So far. And then we jump ahead to, yeah, you're good at Mamba. And right now that's the top of the tier, 410,000. That's like that's when we say no sleep till Mamba, that's because like this is the high end of the tier.
I was gonna say, let's spend some time on Mamba because people are going crazy for him and they really want him. And you got, just so everyone knows, you got 13 days left, and we're a little bit more than halfway there for Mamba. So we gotta get some bones in there to get it going.
We do.
This figure looks
anyone that's
this one looks nuts.
It's going to be something that, even if you don't collect the line, you're going to have it. It's going to look really awesome on your display shelf. And, I think anyone that's familiar with the way the Kickstarter is run, you've got that big rally at the beginning, and then there's kind of like a little marathon in the middle, which we're kind of like on the tail end of the marathon. And then everyone starts to rally that last week. So we feel great. Everything's pretty much on track and going the way we kind of foresaw it playing out. So we're ready to unlock the big chunky boy, and we've got other stuff to show after that once he's unlocked.
So there's even more to come if we hit.
Oh
higher
my!
than that. All right.
And so
sorry, Brick. Go ahead, go.
No, if you go all the way back up to the top, I know it's a trek, but there's a scaling image that I want to reference at this point because people were like, how big is this elephant? And so you can kind of see at the very, very top of that thing. That's in comparison, right, to the smallest buck there, the speedster, the little rabbit, and right. So, but then you'll notice next to that elephant, which is what some folks in the chat are referencing, there's a whole other buck that hasn't yet officially been listed. So again, I don't even know if that call that a hint. That's just it's there that yes, that's the 7th buck effectively, that if we can play our cards right and folks are, backing this thing strong, we could see all of these unlocked by the end of this campaign. Not to say that we wouldn't necessarily maybe get them later regardless, but wouldn't it be cool if we had them now? Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to cut you off for just
it, and it'll slot them into production.
So I'm going to cut you off for 1 second because I know that earlier we all said we were bad with math, but Endless Fables has done the math, and if we have 286 new people do the epic all in, we will see Mamba unlock. So there you go. That is what it's going to take. So there's a couple questions in the chat I want to get to, and I've got a question. Jace wants to know, is the bone whip bendy?
It'll be bendy. It won't be in that shape. It'll probably be like, it'll probably have a little bit of a curve to it. But yeah, it'll be bendy.
Well, when you say bendy, just to be clear, Jason, are you talking like a wire kind of bendy thing that'll stay in?
That's right.
No,
he's
it
asking.
won't have a wire.
That's what I
It'll
thought.
be.
Okay.
Let me see. Hold on. Think this. You know,
Like
think
Daredevil.
this type of
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, and we might actually do one that's like kind of wrapped up as well. So that way, if you want to just have it kind of like
Okay.
displayed on his belt or something, you know, do
Indiana
that. But
Jones
just
style.
kind of think of like this the flexibility of the tail, you know,
Mhm.
something like
So
that.
essentially, it'll
Uh,
be like a sculpted piece that's not necessarily
Okay.
intended to like
Right.
be shaped and
Right.
reshaped.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
And Jace
exactly,
Jace
yeah.
is all about posability. He wants to know if the trunk on Mamba will be posable.
It will have some sort of posability, but you know, we haven't even started sculpting it yet. So the sculptors add articulation as they're sculpting the parts. So once we start working on it, we'll discuss that type of stuff. You know, all of our sculptors work for Hasbro, so we're not worried about, you know, is it going to articulate? It's more of like, what's the best way to do it where it's a nice, fine dovetailing of articulation and aesthetic. Because we want it to function to an extent, but we don't want it to kind of be awkward looking, you know. So, and then the tusk will be removable so that we can do like different, like broken style tusk in the future. And
So
you know, if you want to like angle it a little bit, you know, people will be able to do that. The ears they might not be articulated, but they'll probably be a softer plastic so that it doesn't affect its side to side motion.
Got it. And one of the questions I did have was for somebody like a Mamba that you said, even if for some reason, if it isn't unlocked, but I think it will be because everybody's dying for it, you may see it later on down the line. What is a figure like that? What would that cost? Like, what's the running rate on that?
The retail price, I think let Adam take that.
Because you forget.
I have no idea.
Mamba never
I'll
forgets.
say it right now. I don't know.
I think
Adam, just say $5.
I think Mama's set at 89 right now, but that's, you know, subject to change
Sure,
because
of
it's
course. Yeah, I'm just curious as to like how it ranges, right? So, you know, obviously you got it'll probably be like we talked about, right? The brute or the brawler size will be a little bit different in price and stuff like that. So something like where Mamba is that much bigger, you know, just curious as to how it works out in the price wise.
But right now for the Kickstarter, that's
right.
I think probably important
Yeah.
for people to know is what price.
Yeah, we've estimated it on the we sort of got it on the Kickstarter. It'll be $89 on the Kickstarter. We may have estimated that terribly incorrectly, and so the retail could be more than that. Probably will be more than that. But yeah, it'll be $89 on the Kickstarter. So that's the other thing too. Like if you're looking at this line and all you want is the elephant, hit that pledge with no reward for $89 and then just sit back and wait for the elephant to unlock, and when it does, you can change your pledge.
Good idea.
That's smart.
Yeah,
really smart,
I mean,
actually.
that's the thing that folks need to realize is that one, I get it. Some people like to wait till the last minute, but the sooner that you can get some pledge in, or even you're like a full pledge in, it just moves us higher. And I think that would only give more people some confidence to be like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for that elephant. Let's go. And again, you can see in that rhino, there's more to unlock. We got to see that movement. And so I don't know. The other piece is you heard it to be like $89 for this figure. That figure is about the height of a Mythic Legion's ogre scale figure. I don't know if that. Hold on a second.
The elephant will be about 10 inches tall.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're talking this versus say this, but with some girth, right, and some thickness, and so. What we're saying is right now, if we're actually going to unlock it for this campaign, $89. But if you're familiar with how toys work, that's not going to be the price at retail. It won't. I will tell you that every price
It's
for these
basically
figures right
thank
now.
you for backing.
Sure. Yeah.
The figures right now and the prices that are on there are the cheapest these figures will be. And you can kind of see that right now. You'll see the standard figures are listed as $33. But if you're to pre-order on some of the retailers that have it right now, that do count towards a Kickstarter, like Big Bad Toy Store, any collectibles, it's listed as those same figures, those $33 with the Kickstarter are listed as $37.99. So effectively $5 cheaper. And then when you do things like that Epic All-In that's staring at you on the right side of the screen right now, that price comes down. So
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If you do that Epic All-In, it doesn't matter what that price is on Mambo, you've got them. And we got Mythic Dolphin here who says, Machu, Jason, BrickSomething, I must have been
Thank
left
you,
off by
Tiffany.
accident. But I'm already in at two Epic All-Ins. Look at that. And NYC.
I don't think you were left off on accident, to be clear.
No,
Tiffany,
that's true. It probably was
I'm
intentional.
pretty sure
You're absolutely right.
Tiffany's like a really buff woman, so she
Yo,
might have issues with you right now.
100%. And also NYC Figure Fanatic saying, so you're saying we could get an elephant mommy down the line. So there you go.
They're not letting that go.
They are not. And Dom saying, get that crackhead energy and get an Epic All-In. That is 100% right. If you guys are fans of this line or just fans of some of the newer figures, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I am wavering right now. So, you might see an Epic All-In in the next couple of days. That's coming from me, or at the very least.
Do it now. You don't get charged until the 17th.
I was gonna say the other thing is you got.
He's right. Yeah, click it.
Oh, this is me. This is me clicking.
Do it now. Do it.
Are you doing it, Machu? You doing an Epic All-In right
Come
now?
on.
All right.
We got Toy Father and No Chewing on the verge of those Epic All-Ins, and
they're always just thinking about stuff.
Oh, see. Now you got me saying, oh, they were on the verge. Now I'm like, you know what?
Oh.
F those guys. Let's go.
Hold on, wait. Let's see if we can guess his password. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
1, 2,
No.
So I was gonna do. I said to Jason and Brick, I was gonna try to do a video for like how to adjust your pledge, and then what I realized was, as soon as you log in, they can see all your credit card information and your address, and I was like, I don't think I can do that video. I don't think that makes any sense.
Maybe not.
Let's see. All right, here you go. Get ready to see it go up.
Here we go. Get ready to refresh the Kickstarter. Here we go.
What? There you go. Refresh it.
What?
Hold on.
You got two. You got one Epic All-In from me. And I don't know. Machu's got one more.
There it is.
There you go, boys.
226. Oh, 20.
There it is. So what was that math before? Endless Fables. What do we got? So we need 284 more Epic All-Ins because you've got it there.
Adam,
click
it. I missed it. Do this thing.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, there it is. Here it comes. Yeah.
How did we live before this stuff, right? Like,
I love this one, and I don't know why it needs to come with music.
You have a Mac without telling me you have a Mac.
I have a Mac and I can't even do that. I have a switcher.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, I can do it on this one. I can do it on the other one.
I like the bullet one. That was cool. Thank y'all very much.
Jesse says, Penguin Avion for the future.
Hey, we've got the Penguin fan. Once we unlock the birds, we've got the potential to do all these different bird species. It's
now what exciting. I will say to everybody that's like requesting different species and things like that is get in line, okay? I've worked pretty hard to get to the front of the line for requesting species, so wait your turn.
I'm pretty sure it's relatively easy.
I'm pretty sure Mythic Dolphin's at the head of the line, really. So we should. Pay attention to that comment right there and make a.
It's been noted. It's been noted.
How many pulling for a female white buffalo down the line? Okay.
How many Epic All-Ins for a turtle?
Yeah.
For J-Shot.
Yeah. How many turtles? I don't know if you guys know, but I like turtles.
There's been a few people ask for turtles
reptiles.
too.
Come on, man. They're not reptiles. Yeah.
Hey, what was the real though? You the fact that you all just did that right now. I want to be clear. Like, if you watch the toy pick from the other night, you probably saw Machu doing some heavy enabling, trying to make a big push. And so this stream shows you that, he's legit. He's, he was pushing other people because
I was going to do it. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to all be here to see me hit that all in.
There you go.
Hey, I'll tell you this too, though. From in the back end, we can see if you cancel your pledge too.
Oh, I know.
So
I know.
that's,
Adjust.
we'll be monitoring. That's the.
So now
From
that
an
I have
epic-
that, so now that I have that epic all, well, we both have that epic all in. We don't like
Thank you.
as when Mamba is unlocked. When Mamba is unlocked, then we don't have to do anything else. Mamba's
Exactly.
included.
Yep. It's included.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
cool.
The backer kit it'll just be included with your reward. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I saw
All right, so
Chubbsy
just-
just popped up. I don't know.
Yeah, Chubbsy saying he's all in for the line as well. So you got.
Oh,
I'm
man,
sure he'll
yeah,
support you guys.
It's
Yeah.
so cool to see our stuff at their store, man. They've got such an
Yeah.
awesome shop. I was
yeah.
bummed out because we got there early and we didn't realize how close the shop was. So yeah, we're gonna go hang out and raise some hell over there in a good way. Tiffany, are y'all going to PowerCon this year?
Legions?
Tiffany's going to be
I
at
don't know if she's
Legions
still in
Con.
the chat. Legions, that's what it was. Legions
go.
Con. Yeah,
Okay.
I got power on the brain.
We just
So-
got our tickets.
Did we? Oh, good.
I bought those too.
Thank you.
Your hotel is booked. The turn down service has been booked.
Fantastic.
It's everything. Yeah.
Fantastic. We trade back and forth as to like who picks up what and does this, that kind of thing. So, so Adam, I actually want to jump back. You said get in line, so I want to ask you guys this for everybody here. What is the animal that you guys are waiting to see? Like, what is the one that you want to get to that you want to make that hasn't been made yet?
That hasn't been made and hasn't been discussed as far as is coming.
Hasn't been discussed publicly. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Well, there's a few things that are sort of, in the works. And like I said, and Jason said, like this doesn't end at the Kickstarter, right? Like we've got these ones kind of all designed and in the works. But there's more species, there's more characters, there's all that kind of stuff coming. So there's a lot to look forward to. One that's not on the books yet, it's not sort of planned or anything like that, but I'm going to push for like a Canadian wave of a beaver, a Canada goose, and a moose all in one wave. Because I think we're getting to the point where we'll have the bucks to do those animals. So that's those are three that I'd like to see.
I already
I
have a
like it.
moose, but I definitely back that beaver.
Oh yeah.
God, I can't wait for Back That Beaver campaign.
I feel like the moose would be good on a brawler body.
Yes.
Yeah. It would.
For me, it's funny. We did this on AWOK Talk where we went through and like listed the animals we wanted. For me, it's two, and for some reason, I got stuck in the birds. The first one is a cassowary, and I don't know if people know this animal or not, but it's essentially like
the heck is that?
big old ostrich looking thing, but bigger than an ostrich, and it's got like blue, red. It's gorgeous colors with a big old like horn thing at the top. Check it out. They're vicious. They're really like kind of
That
shitty
sounds
animals.
cool.
Sorry. And then the other one is
They're mean.
the Philippine eagle, which I talked to you about before, but like we used to reference them as the monkey eating.
Well, now I gotta
eagle, 'cause,
Google
like,
that.
Literally, their
Oh
wings.
yeah, the
can be
monkey
about
eagles. Man, those things look so cool.
7 feet wide,
Yeah,
like wingspan, 3 feet
man, they look
tall,
so cool.
and literally they used to hunt monkeys from the trees. So when I think about Pale running away, being freaked out by this eagle who can come
That'd
down
be a
and
good
get him,
adversary, right?
that's where I'm
A
at.
real like a good bounty
Cool
hunter.
feathers,
You know
too.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Dom
looks
wants to know
awesome.
Dom wants to know when we're getting sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
After we get leopards with laser
would,
beams.
Would mutated sea basses be okay?
Yeah, Josh says Fishborg, so yeah, I think he's
Yeah, I
okay
think
with
that
mutated
works.
sea bass. They're angry.
Are they
though,
at
right?
least ill-tempered?
They're ill-tempered. That's it. Canadian animals. Ryan Dole approves.
J-Shot, other than turtles, what animal would you want to see?
I like Steve saying I'd goose a beaver.
I mean,
too.
I'm making all of them, so I'm good.
Honestly, I'm gonna go red panda.
Yeah,
Ooh, I was
that's
gonna
been
say red
discussed a
panda.
little bit too. There's
Love
been a few people say red panda. Turtle has been one that's come up a few times.
Uh-huh.
Bugs or insects of some form has sort of been
yes.
discussed a few times.
Don't do bugs, don't do
You
insects.
You know,
Axolotl
I've got,
comes up
like-
a lot. People want an
axolotl.
axolotl.
Okay. All right.
I've
Axolotl.
got a
Interesting.
couple of different ideas for insects. I think I might switch it up. I think I might offer so if you read the original, the 2011 version, the insects are represented essentially as a golem. You know, I want to do that because I'm basically reintroducing all the characters that were in the original comic book slowly. But I think it would also be cool to have tail sized insects, so we'll see what happens.
Real quick for that the golem, like you've talked about it before, but essentially it would be like a creature made up of a bunch of tiny bugs, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That image alone,
Yeah.
when you told me that,
Not
I
the
was
Lord of
like,
the Rings
"Whoa."
golem.
That's
Not
terrifying.
golem. The Hebrew golem.
I'm not even going to attempt. I'm going to go Jesus Gael Folak Ramirez. It's the best I can do.
Jesus
Peacock
Gael
Manuscript.
Fuyo Ramirez.
Thank you, Brick. Thank you for that. Peacock Manuscript.
There was a video or Instagram account where the guy would just feed his mantis shrimp different kind of like crabs and stuff. So I mean, I don't know. That's a weird animal. It's cool looking, but I don't know if you can figure it out.
Steve does want to know who from the comics are the old characters,
Mm.
like Rafiki from The Lion King. Like who will be the wise old characters? Okay, got you. Some old characters. So not just the old characters, but who are the elders? I guess is the better word. Yeah, the elders.
So in the comic, Mother Mika's old, Larange's old, Kali's old. I'm sure there's some other ones that I'm missing, but there's an elder elephant that that we kind of like sneak peek in the end of issue 1.
There's an elder
sprinkled
rabbit
in there. Yeah, the rabbit.
Blackpaw
is
Blackpaw.
What's that? Yeah, Blackpaw is an elder.
Do you have comic relief characters?
Absolutely. So whenever I'm writing the comic book, I have an outline, and I tend to write the dialogue after the artwork's done, except for like jokes, because I'll think of jokes and I'm afraid I'm going to forget the punchlines. So I'll write that down. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think, a lot of the comic relief is actually like banter between Pale and Atreyu, because they're almost kind of like brotherly rivals, and then a lot of the Horde soldiers are real simpletons, so their dialogue's pretty funny and just kind of like cut the tension a little bit. I tend to like to follow up like dramatic stuff with a little bit of comic relief, just to kind of keep it like ebbing and flowing and not everything's feeling way intense. But yeah, there's definitely comic relief characters. I feel like Gresh is pretty comical. He's funny looking, but cool at the same time. So
we just named a bunch of characters, but if you're sort of going back to the elders, Larange is an orangutan, and Mother Mika is another chimp, I guess, or is it a gorilla?
Yeah, she's a chimp. Yeah.
But different body types, because they're a little older, and even the bunny, the rabbit that you mentioned, is a different body type from the speedsters. So they'll be pretty kind of cool.
Yeah. Continuing with the different animals though here too. Jay says, "What about a Tasmanian devil as a berserker type warrior?" So,
what do you or what's the other one? The honey badger.
Honey badger.
Yeah.
Honey badger.
But man, those honey badgers are wild.
I think Jace wins MVP of the night with all the questions. So with magic and technology being aspects of AWOK, any talk about special effects packs and things like muzzle flashes, magic blasts. Ugh, my tongue got in the way of my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying, etc.
So we're trying to really kind of pack in that stuff with the characters. If you look at Mala, she's got a flame effect and an ice effect on her shield that's both removable. So if you don't want the ice effect on the shield, you can just kind of simply take it off. She's kind of our first foray into doing those type of things, but we'll introduce them as they're needed. So the necromancer scathing will most likely have some sort of like magic effect that can kind of clip onto his magical staff.
Nice.
So more to come, and the only way to get more of these things is to continue to back the Kickstarter and support the animal, the
Do it
Spero
now.
Toys. So you guys have done a couple of these so far. You don't have to tell us which one has been the best, but one thing that I did want to ask you guys is, like, there's always the question, right? It's like, what is the one thing, and that you guys have been on all these streams and you've done this, you've talked about the Kickstarters, you've talked about the things. What is the one question you haven't been asked yet that you guys want to give the answer to, right? That you're just like, man, I really wish they asked me about blank.
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I think
I try.
There
I
you go.
think
That's the question. What question
I
haven't you
think
been asked?
we always like to reiterate that even though Kickstarter's been around for quite a while, that you don't get charged until the very end on the 17th. So there's really no reason why you can't back now and kind of help us keep the momentum, especially during the mid section of the Kickstarter, where the momentum starts to kind of slow down and it becomes that kind of marathon. So, it's very important to let people know you don't get charged right away. So pick out what you want, and you don't have to worry about it until 2 days after your tax returns come in and you get that extra cash. And it's actually, there's a payday too. So you'll have an extra payday and a little bit of tax return money to get your goodies.
This is a smart way to put it. Smart way to put that in date. Adam, BrickSomething, anything you guys were hoping to get asked tonight, or on any of these streams?
Mine is I'm a big fan of really good soft goods, and so this doesn't come up enough, but I really appreciate that Jason's thrown out there that, like, one, there are going to be characters that have soft goods, and more importantly, the level of quality that he's talking about doing is like really great, tailored, wired soft goods. Can you share that now? I'll ask you the question. What are you thinking about soft goods, Jason?
I like to. So I like to treat soft goods the same way that lightsabers were treated in the original trilogy, where they're like few and very rare but feel special. So Eric Harker is going to be doing our first soft good.
Oh, nice.
It'll be a poncho for raving. So you'll be able to kind of like pose it. It'll have the wiring and everything in it. And I think it'll make for some like really epic photography, especially his alternate head is like a, what's it called? Like the little Chinese hat that's like, it's like long. What is that? Someone knows. Someone Google it. Anyway,
I don't know what it's called, but I think that's.
I'm just making you sweat.
You know what we're talking, like, like what Kung Fu Panda's got. I don't know what Poe's got.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it looks like you got another epic all-in back from NYC Figure
Thank
Fanatic.
you so much.
So not that we're counting, a wicker hat is what Pablo Lopez rated hat. Those are the comments that we're getting on that. But so I don't know if we're counting, but I think that makes 3 epic all-ins that you got on this stream. So hopefully that
it's
is
awesome, man.
That's the highest you've gotten. And
Wait, yeah,
That's the hat.
He's got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Did
Oh,
you?
there you
Oh,
go.
you didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. There it is.
Yep.
What's funny is we have sombreros that we wear to mow the grass because the yard's really big.
That's what this is
So,
for.
and I kept thinking sombrero, but I was like, it's not a freaking sombrero.
Jason was talking earlier too about how big his house is and all the modems that he has to.
It's not that big.
restart.
It's
So,
just big enough
He has to
be
go
an
around and
extra
reset
hour.
them all.
yeah, he's gonna it takes him 45 minutes to reset each modem. So,
And real quick, Harker
uh,
Customs, if you
right.
didn't hear, just go to IG, Harker Customs, so you'll see kind of what we're talking. I saw Machu's reaction, and
Yeah.
I think that's the right
have-
reaction.
I have a cape, Batman cape
nice.
from him.
Love
It's
it.
really good.
and then you got Red Exo Mac 5 saying, "Are you planning on doing 2-packs or multi-packs?" And I know that there's like army builder packs on the Kickstarter, but I'm wondering if he's asking specific like packaging style 2-packs.
Not at the moment. It's something that I've definitely thought about. I think that's kind of a year 3 project for us to think about. especially for like army builder type stuff. But right now we're not considering it. We just kind of want to focus on the single figures at the moment.
Can't wait for year 3. It's I love that we're already looking ahead to the next year because we've already got this thing backed. So.
I'm laughing at that J Shot because it's like year 1, $2. Year 2, $7.
7.
Year 3, maybe we'll give you 2 figures at a time. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they could be 2 different bucks inside the pack. So we can make it happen, or you could have
amazing
more Mamba style. So
right.
There you go.
My goodness.
Cool. I mean, look, guys, I gotta be honest with you. This 90 minutes has flown by with you, and the energy that you guys
really
bring
has.
This has been really great. I appreciate that so much. So, kind of just like last looks, last round. What is there? Anything else that you guys want to say? Anything else you want to get in before we kind of we wrap this up, so Machu could go pack for his flight tomorrow?
He's got plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
He doesn't leave for another 12 and a half hours.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll just say, feel free to look through the campaign. We've got a ton of images in there, and I think just kind of like scrolling through the actual Kickstarter itself, you'll see how much value we've absolutely jam-packed into the rewards. And just the kind of scope of characters and accessories that we're packing in with each figure, I feel really, lets the collectors know that we're passionate and that we're making quality products, and we want to be here for a long time. So check it out. Make sure you share it with your other collecting friends, or if grandma wants to know what you want for Christmas or your birthday, send her the link and kind of just help her through. Just enter her credit card for her.
It's this thing that all the kids' grandma are doing called the Epic All In. For me, I will just let me play my role real quick and say that tomorrow night over on a Punk with Toys at 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing a version of this, telling the folks there about what's going on with the Kickstarter. On Friday, specifically, I wanted to set this up as a one-on-one with Jason and Wade over on Unparalleled Universe, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, because they're both like these mad scientist types who are making hairy action figures, which is great. Then
very true.
Sunday, Saturday, there's a recording thing that'll come out. I'm not sure exactly when. Sunday, over on that dude's channel over there, Highly Articulated, we'll be doing our sort of live monkey business stream, and we'll have Jason on.
Very cool.
Be a bunch of monkeys. We got to get monkey masks now because you've set a precedent. And then Sunday night,
I have some.
Monday night, Geek Dad Life, we'll do kind of a quick update because we were already there towards the beginning of the stream, towards the beginning of the campaign. And then Monday night over on the Collection Nexus, and that'll be 8 p.m. Pacific. So, and there's a couple more after that, but just I'll leave you on Monday night. So there's plenty of spaces for folks to know. Again, if you tell your friends, please tell them that Animal Wars of the Kingdom is a thing and Epic All In is a thing that all the kids are doing.
And I'm going to do my best here to broker this deal for 2 people that we love dearly, and having you guys on has been great. But how do we feel about making a exclusive for the old Chubsy Wubsy family here? How do we? I'm gonna
love that. That would be awesome.
Insert myself in the middle of this and make this happen.
Wow.
So
get all up in it. Just the tip.
Let's careful now. The tip of the banana. That's what he was talking about.
Exactly. What are you talking about?
But let's do our best to make this happen. Adam, anything else before we kind of wrap this up?
I will say, don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna live a life full of regret. Back the Epic All In and thank yourself later. I will mention one more thing. We definitely appreciate people backing the Kickstarter rather than sort of waiting. And to that point, you will be thankful that you backed the Kickstarter. We do have some little things planned that we haven't mentioned yet. So stay tuned for future streams that we're on, because, that stuff might come out. I'm just saying, back in the Kickstarter, might get you a little more than, waiting. So
we're not advertising it. It'd just be a fun surprise.
Yeah, like just show up.
There you go. Nothing beats a good surprise.
Wow, that's cool.
And Machu, you're getting on an airplane tomorrow to go to Canada for Toying Around's birthday, but also their enabler stream tomorrow. And then you'll be at the Toying Around Con. Is that officially the name? Is it Toying Around
Yeah.
Con?
Yeah.
All right. So okay, cool.
Pretty
Is that
much, yeah, I
KevCon?
think
I thought it was KevCon.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
KevCon.
KevCon. So
It's a good
Well,
Canadian name.
as we wrap this up, I do want to get to Steve Morrow's comment that says, "Remember to."
There
There
it is.
to the Kickstarter.
Wait.
Huh?
I was gonna stop you before you put on the mask.
Oh, what? What'd I do?
When I get back, we gotta go to Chubsy so we get all the other figures.
Yeah.
We miss out on,
Yeah.
you know.
Gotta get that.
Get
tax
your
return.
AWOK on.
Get your AWOK on. All right. Well, just whether you're watching it live or on the replay, appreciate the hell out of all you. And Spero, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. It's been a great stream. It's really hard to do this.
Thanks for having us.
But let's get the ape out of here. Machu, do that outro.